This week in our reading, we learned about duck and cover drills. Bert the turtle is the mascot for duck and cover drills. If you'd like another example of a duck and cover drill, here is Miss Barrick doing one. Our question for this week about duck and cover drills is an opinion question. In your opinion, did duck and cover drills have a positive or negative effect on Americans? Before we answer that question, we are going to review vocabulary. Our first word is tension. Negative emotions, so bad feelings towards someone, but without action. So the United States and Russia had tension in the Cold War. They did not like each other, but they were not fighting. Immense means incredibly large, like this cat. A crisis is an emergency. This seems like a negative word. To answer this question, in your opinion, did duck and cover drills have a positive or negative effect on Americans? We need to remember the meaning of the words positive and negative. Positive is a good thing. Negative is a bad thing. So in your opinion, did duck and cover drills have a good or bad effect on Americans? In order to answer this question, we are going to look at a T-chart. On one side of the T-chart, we'll have positive things, good things about duck and cover drills. On the other side of the T-chart, we'll have negative things, bad things that happen because of duck and cover drills. To find this information, we're going to look back in the text. As we read paragraph 1, listen for good things, positive things, and negative things, bad things, that happen because of duck and cover drills. Beginning in the 1950s, the United States and the Soviet Union, a socialist country that was made up of what are now 15 different countries and that existed from 1922 to 1991, had a very tense relationship known as the Cold War. Although the Cold War never did escalate from tension to real violence between the two countries, people in the United States worried that the Soviets might attack with a nuclear bomb. To prepare for such an event, elementary and high school students performed emergency drills at school, just as we might do fire or other safety drills today. The most common drill was called duck and cover. I see in the last two sentences that students are prepared. They are ready for this dangerous situation of a bomb. Students are ready for a bomb because of duck and cover. Being ready seems like a positive, a good thing, so I'm going to add that to the positive section of my T-chart. I put students were prepared on the positive side of the T-chart because being prepared or being ready is a good thing. So duck and cover drills helped Americans be ready. Now let's read paragraph 2 and see if we can find any other information to put on our T-chart. In a duck and cover drill, a student drops to the floor and gets under something like a desk. Then they lie face down, curl up, and cover the head and neck with a jacket, book, or even their hands. The goal of this drill was to protect against several dangerous side effects of a nuclear blast. So duck and cover drills protected people. That seems like a positive, a good thing. I'm going to add that to my T-chart. The force of the explosion could create immense amounts of heat. It could also cause windows to shatter. Keeping one's face on the floor could prevent burns and protect it from flying pieces of sharp glass. So I now see another positive reason for duck and cover drills. Americans were protected against the side effects because of duck and cover drills. Also, they were preventing, they stopped from happening. They stopped burns and cuts from happening. Let's add that to our positive side of our T-chart. On our positive side, we've added information from paragraph 2. People were protected against dangerous side effects, and people were protected against flying glass and burns. We're going to skip paragraph 3 because it does not have information about how duck and cover drills helped or hurt Americans. Go to paragraph 4. While we're reading paragraph 4, remember to think about how duck and cover drills help or hurt Americans. The government also wanted to help adults know what to do in an emergency. They released informational pamphlets that explain the duck and cover position and other strategies to survive a nuclear attack. They sent trucks around the country to show the videos and pass out booklets of information. Stores and magazines advertised bomb shelters that people could buy to put in their backyards. Cities set up public fallout centers where people could go to run away from atomic radiation, and they also stored large amounts of food and installed emergency broadcast systems in public places. The federal government estimated that all of these efforts would save 27 million people. I see 2 more positive reasons for duck and cover drills in this paragraph. In the first sentence, I see the government also wanted to help adults know what to do in an emergency. So at first, duck and cover drills only help students, but now we know that duck and cover drills help adults too. In the last sentence, we see that the federal government guessed that these efforts would save 27 million people. Protecting and saving 27 million people seems like a good thing. So we're going to add that to the positive side of our T-chart. In paragraph 4, we learned these 2 pieces of information. Adults were prepared and 27 million people could be saved. So we added that information to the positive side of our T-chart. Now we're going to read paragraph 5. While we read paragraph 5, think about how duck and cover drills helped or hurt Americans. Writers and scholars disagree about whether these programs were good or bad. Some say they promoted a healthy awareness of a real threat to the United States. That seems like a positive. Because of duck and cover drills, people knew that there was some danger and how to react to that danger. I'm going to add that information to the positive side of my T-chart. I added that Americans were aware of a threat. They knew that there was danger because of duck and cover drills. That's a good thing. That's on my positive side. Now I'm going to read the rest of paragraph 5. Others say they gave people an unnecessary fear of crisis. School drills and other nuclear preparedness programs slowly went away in the 1960s as U.S. leaders began to talk more openly with Soviet leaders. This third sentence, others say they gave people an unnecessary fear of crisis, sounds like a bad thing. There was no reason for people to be scared, but duck and cover drills made them scared. So let's add that to our negative side of our T-chart. Because of the third sentence in paragraph 5, I'm going to put Americans were afraid, but they did not need to be scared on the negative side of my T-chart. Now we need to write about this in answer to this question. In your opinion, did duck and cover drills have a positive or negative effect on Americans? The text gives me lots of positives and only 1 negative. So it's going to be easier for me to answer this question if I choose the positive side. That's the side I'm going to choose to help me answer the question. In your opinion, did duck and cover drills have a positive or negative effect on Americans? I'm going to use my opinion writing sentence starter. In my opinion, duck and cover drills have a positive effect on Americans. I'm choosing positive because that list is longer, so it will be easier for me to answer the question if I choose that answer. Now I need evidence. I know this because on page 2, paragraph 5, the text says Now I need to go to page 2, paragraph 5, and find my evidence. In the second sentence, I see some say they promoted a healthy awareness of a real threat to the United States. That's a good reason from page 2, paragraph 5. That seems like good evidence that duck and cover drills were positive, were good for Americans. Copied my evidence from page 2, paragraph 5. I've written the sentence from the text into my sentence starter. Remember that quotation marks go around anything you copy from the text. Now, I need to add explanation. This means, my explanation should connect my reason to my evidence. First, I'm going to type my reason. This means duck and cover drills have a positive effect on Americans because, so that's my reason, duck and cover drills have a positive effect on Americans. Why? Now I'm going to use my evidence to explain. Some say they promoted a healthy awareness of a real threat to the United States because Americans knew about the danger. Because Americans knew, they were aware about the threat, the danger. I'm going to put that information in my own words because I am explaining how my reason matches my evidence. Now it's your turn to try to answer this question on your own. Choose a different reason, evidence, and explanation from the one I chose here. You can use the sentence starters as well.